Hi, I'm John Smith, taxpayer, where I spend all my money just on housing, rent, utilities, and just to exist to the next day. And so, if that is all my money from all my working hours goes to pay for is just to exist to the next day, and if I get the sniffles and I go to the hospital and I just go, "Hi, doctor," he's going to give me a $10,000 bill just because I said hi to him. I can't afford that. So, because I can't afford that, I go bankrupt and I die. That's very simplistic of the modern economy at this point, because the modern economy is so entrenched in pharmaceuticals and oil. Those are like their two top industries. I'm going to ignore real estate for now, but oil, pharmaceuticals. So when the oil industries blew up and they realized that they could use some of the byproducts of the oil industry in making pharmaceuticals, oh my goodness, that's money we can be making. And so they put chemicals from the oil industry, the runoffs and all the byproducts that are not profitable on their own, found a way through magic of science into putting them into pharmaceutical drugs. And then, because it's still an oil based chemical that is not biologically adaptive to the human organism, but they plaster these advertisements and all these feel good statements around said pharmaceutical whatever just to have the unknowing populace say, hey, I fall in the demographic that you are targeting specifically with these ads. I could be using that product as well. And therefore, hook, line, and sinker, get onto these pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceutical companies making money because their customers are going through the roof. Customers are slowly, progressively getting their life quality getting squished further and further down, while their work has to go up because prices and inflation go up and a bunch of other economical nonsense that makes the problem worse. So you have these oil-based pharmaceutical companies pumping out products for their customers, not cures for their patients. No, no, no. I think it was 1913, the C Word Act, preventing people from saying the word cure if you are a Rockefeller-funded pharmaceutical doctor or you have a certificate from some pharmaceutical company or college. How much in a 10-year doctorate is focused on health and actual longevity tactics, eating right, healthy, exercise, diet, nutrition, the proper things? But no, it's spent on, oh, this pharmaceutical X product and this pharmaceutical Y product have a conflagration with each other within the human body. And so you got to know that you cannot mix pharmaceutical this company and pharmaceutical that company into the same prescription for your consumer. Can't do that. Or and if you do these bad things against our policies and our rules and our regulations that we constantly shift and maneuver behind the scenes all day long for all every year, and if you mess up one time, you get your license pulled and you can't practice medicine anymore. Because we care about people here in America. We care about health. No, no, they don't. They don't. They've never cared. They've never once cared about the health of the citizens ever, once, ever. And even better, you know how many cures for all ailments there are? Exactly. Nobody does. Nobody knows the number of cures there are because cures that have been proven to cure people get whitewashed in history or freaking demonized through the media. Some insert reason why these cures get pushed away. And all of a sudden, magical pharmaceutical company produces this product. Haha, yay, so everybody's happy all of a sudden. Why is that? Because if you have an issue, a physical ailment, and your physical ailment is a problem, and that problem needs to be dealt with at the core of the problem, but you have symptoms of the problem. Those symptoms, we can treat those symptoms. You got the sniffles, we have product here for the sniffles. So they treat the symptoms, they don't solve the overlying problem. Maybe your problem is your diet is bad and you don't move around enough and you don't drink enough water and you don't look at the sun enough. Maybe that's a part of your lifestyle issues that are leading to the problem that you are having, and that problem happens to have circumstances that produce symptoms of a different issue. Let's use the sniffles for example. So they give you product to stop the sniffles. But once you stop the sniffles, now you got frickin' major sweats. All right, well, here's product to stop the sweats. Now you stop the sweats and you stop the sniffles, but now you have a headache and you have a migraine. Oh, well, we have a product for the migraines. And it just piles onto each other when the original issue was never once looked at, never once actually dug into, because it's more profitable for the ones who are pushing the products, the pharmaceutical companies, the ones who are pushing these products onto the consumers. It's profitable. If you can have a product for this and a product for that and a product for this, and oh, this has side effects, but we have a product to help prevent those side effects, and it just builds upon this metastasizing cancer of the pharmaceutical industry, of what's more profitable, what makes more money. Because if a person is having an issue and they can solve their problem 100% by diet, exercise, and a change of lifestyle, those simple things, but that's not profitable for the companies. You cannot cure a person once and then let's say that cure is $10,000. Boom, that person's cured. They've just lost a customer. But if you have a person with an issue and you can just bill them every step of the way for the next 50 years, now you have a customer for 50 years. Now you have a customer who will hook, line, and sinker because a lab coat told them that this pharmaceutical company tested it on people and it works. Yeah, it works. Don't question it. Don't look into it. Don't follow the money. Don't look at who's paying me to say this, but it works. Yeah. Now you have a customer for 50 years. It's profitable to have a customer stay a customer for as long as possible rather than curing a person in the moment. So if your entire system is built upon prolonging a customer because that's more profitable, do you really think that the economy is going to collapse one day? Just in one day? No, because they got to make money while you are slowly bleeding out. Because if you're slowly bleeding out over the next 50, 60 years, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have to pay every step of the way while you're bleeding out. So, of course, the economy is not just going to magically go, hey, we're doing great, new records, profit, all time highs, and then all of a sudden, bing, depression. Overnight? No, it's not going to happen. There's too many regulatory agencies involved. And so they're going to see that, oh, we have a new time high, followed by an all time low, and then followed by a new high, and then an all time low, and then a new high, and then an all time low, and a new high, and an all time low, and a new high, and an all time low, and a new high, all time low. And it's just going to be this slow progression downwards while we're getting advertisements out the wazoo saying profitable year. Do you see the connection between the pharmaceutical industry and how it it treats a patient over the lifetime while billing them every step of the way instead of curing them one time? Same thing with the economy. Could you collapse the economy in one day? Absolutely. Easy. Change a 1 to a 0. Simple stuff. But if you want the economy to constantly be profitable to the megacorps and the ones at the top, all while the economy is being marketed and gaslit to the populace saying, oh, it's all good. They're going to slowly erode the value of the dollar while inflating this imaginary dollar, all while you're on the downhill trajectory. It's almost like the playbook is the exact same no matter what industry. If you can continue a customer and being a customer for 50 plus years, we can bill them every month. But if you cure a person, you can't bill them. They're no longer a customer. You look at the flaws of the medical industry and you overlap that with the flaws of the government, and you can see basically the same story. Who is paying who gets what out of what deal. It's the same playbook over and over and over again. We're not going to have a collapse slowly. We're going to have a collapse silently. We're going to have a collapse being one stab a day. Oh, it's only a stab wound. I can survive. It's only bleeding out a little bit. And the next day, here's another knife. Second stab wound. Oh, as long as I don't touch this knife, it's fine. I can walk it off. And then the next day, another stab. I'm still bleeding out. I need some help. I've got some blood. They're gonna pay. They're gonna have you pay for the gauze, and they're gonna have you pay for the blood infusions. But then they're gonna stab you again and be like, now I have 4 knives in me, and I'm really bleeding out here. And they go, that's another $10,000. Thank you for that. Also, here's another knife. F you. And they're just going to continuously stab you, steal your money, stab you, steal your money, and then gaslight you saying that you're perfectly fine and don't look into your problems because your problems are actually all in your head and it's a mental issue. It's a mental health issue. It's not an actual physical issue. Here's another knife. They're just going to keep quietly stabbing you over and over as you're bleeding out. And you go, wow, I feel really bad. Why am I feeling bad all of a sudden? It's probably because you're bleeding out. And they keep stabbing you. Why is this so difficult? Why is this so difficult? Oh, and the one who made the knives that they're stabbing you with just happens to come from the state of 1948. Happens to be paid for by the state of 1948. In one way or another, it's always tied back to the state of 1948. Every flipping time. Oh, but if you see it, if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, you're the crazy one somehow. And if you call it out, you say, hey, I don't like what you're doing. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. But why is it that you're doing it? But even if we were doing it, it's not even that big of a deal. So you are doing it? No, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. But if we were doing it, it's not that big of a deal. So if we were doing it, it's because God told us to. It's because we're God's chosen people. We can do it. You just can't because you're not God's chosen people. See the problem? It's the same playbook over and over and over again. Us collectively as a human race have not learned that parasites love to suck off the host body, all while playing the game that we're not a parasite. We're totally not a parasite. We're actually beneficial to the host body. We're not a parasite. While sucking all the blood dry. Oh, but then you have a healthy person say, hey, there's a parasite sucking the blood out of you. They go, no, this parasite here, that's not a parasite. It's actually an ally. This guy, he helps us tremendously. We give him all of our blood, all of our tax money, all of our problems, all just for him to make it worse, and I feel worse after it, and my blood's gone, and I'm all loopy. But he's an ally. He's not a parasite. To those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, being able to see and hear, you start to realize how screwed we are for the future. They haven't produced any bit of hope for the future. If the hope of our future is a Zionist utopia, there is no future. So give me your comments. So these are thoughts that just bounce around my head on a regular basis. So give me your thoughts below and follow me for more.